front. Sean, how big of a threat is Texas? We'll just start all over, and you give us a spill on Texas. How big of a threat is Texas coming to Tuscaloosa?
Listen, as I was saying, guys, this team is a threat. This team is a threat. They have 10 starters back, man. Anytime you have a team with 10 starters back and a returning quarterback who's pretty good, very good to be honest, you are a threat. This is a team that scored more points on the road last year than they did at home. They scored 31 at home. They averaged about 37 on the road. This team is a threat, man. I'll go out on the limb right now and tell you guys, man for man, this may be the most talented roster that we face all season, even more than LSU, even more than Tennessee. Maybe not scheme-wise on defense, but I promise you, man for man, this team is a threat. Sure, they lost Bijan Robinson, but these guys returned Jonathan Brooks, Jadon Blue, freshman Cedric Baxter, and we all know Keelan Robinson, straight from Bama. This team returns every receiver, and they're 3 deep as far as the starting guys. Jatavian Sanders, Jordan Whittingham, Casey Kane, and that man, Xavier Worthy. He gave us the business last year, guys, with the starting quarterback and with Hudson Carr. These guys received 41 votes out of 67 first-place votes to win the Big 12. Texas will be a problem. They will be a problem. Steve Sarkeesian knows our defense. He understands how to attack us. He understands how to get us out of pattern matching. He understands we play a lot of man coverage, man. He understands with a lot of motions to the boundary, a lot of motions to the field side, a lot of things to confuse the corners and confuse the linebackers. So this is a team that is a threat. And here's something else that people won't say. Texas, you know how we do other teams? We'll go gobble up all the tickets. We'll have a gang of fans there. If those home teams don't sell all their home tickets, next thing you know, Bama's in there deep. Texas will try to do that to Bama. These people, they have the resources to come here deep. They've never been to Bama, and God knows when, if ever. Texas will be here early, deep, and their team will be ready. Trust me.
On the line with Sean from Huntsville. My name is Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Hit the thumbs up, like, and subscribe. We appreciate you guys more than you know. Just a week away from SEC Media Days. Actually, just a couple days. I'll be in Nashville starting on Sunday because, what's up, Jarvis? I see you inside the comment box. Sean, I just sent you a text message, man. Shoot me a text message right back. Jarvis, I see you inside the comment box. Nate H., what's going on? Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of storylines to cover. Remember, there was kind of that wave of Alabama players that went over to Texas, and it all started with Steve Sarkeesian, who I felt was one of the best offensive coordinators in recent times here at Alabama, right? Everybody's super excited about Lane Kiffin and what he did in the past. But then when you had Steve Sarkeesian come in, we totally started to see Alabama's offense really evolve into what the offense is now. I know it's the Alabama offense, in considering that Sarkeesian did have a lot of talent to work with, but I thought he was probably the best play caller that Alabama's had after Lane Kiffin. On the line with Sean from Huntsville. We'll have Jarek from Buffalo coming in just a minute. And then at the bottom of the screen, you can call into the show, 205-850-1994. My name is Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe. Super chats definitely appreciated. And we'll continue with Sean from Huntsville. Sean, when I look at this particular matchup, I think that one of the areas that I'm concerned about is on the outside, because you have Kool-Aid, you have Taryn, or you have Trey Amos going up against some of the most electrifying wide receivers in all of college football. As you mentioned, Xavier Worthy and, A.D. Mitchell and some of the other guys that they have, even the big tight end who presents a lot of problems. And especially if Q Ewers is healthy, and I'm sure he will be. It's week 2 going into this game. Are you concerned a little bit about that secondary? I know I'm excited about Kool-Aid, but is that going to be one of the potential problems for Alabama going into this week 2 contest?
I don't think that the secondary will be in a lot of trouble. It's just the scheme to me. The scheme is what presents a lot of problems for us. Steve Sarkeesian is very aware that we like to pattern match. He's very aware that we like to play man, bring pressure, especially on third down. He is exceptionally aware of that, even more than just watching film on an opponent. This guy used to go against our defense. He is extremely aware of what we like to do on third and long. He's very aware of how we like to do what we like to do on first downs, on run downs, gap schemes, all of those things that guy is exceptionally aware of. What I'm concerned about is putting pressure on the quarterback. That's what I'm concerned with, because this guy, Quinn Ewers, will cut us up, man. Doesn't matter that we play great coverage. This guy's a great quarterback. He's a great quarterback, man. The guy only played like 10 games and still threw for over 2,000 yards. Like he had 16, 17 touchdowns. The guy's a great quarterback, and they love to throw the deep ball. They love it. We have to play sound defense. We have to score. We have to put points on the board to put pressure on those guys to score as well. We have to put pressure on Quinn Ewers and make him uncomfortable. And I'm going to tell you the deciding factor that I wish we could get this message out to all Bama fans. We need Bama fans to turn Bryant Denny, BDS, into a hostile environment, man. We need these guys to come in that Texas game and scream and turn that thing in, because the crowd, we should know from Bama, the crowd can be that 13th player out there on the field, that 12th player out there on the field, those extra players out there on the field. We know that personally. We ran into that at LSU. We ran into that at Tennessee. We need our crowd to come in and make Bryant Denny an absolute madhouse, man. That helps the defense. That energizes the offense. I'm not really worried about the secondary as far as the talent-wise. I am worried about Xavier Worthy getting loose on us. The scheme that Steve Sarkeesian runs is what really I have a concern about.
On the line with Sean from Huntsville. My name is Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Hit the thumbs up, like, and subscribe. We're coming to you July 13th, Thursday night on YouTube. I appreciate you guys joining us. Hit the thumbs up, like, and subscribe. Sean, when we look at Alabama from an offensive standpoint, we're going to talk with Jarek at 7:15 p.m., so stick around for that. And then you guys can call into the show, 205-850-1994. When we look to Alabama's offense, clearly everyone wants to talk about the quarterbacks, and we're not going to talk about the quarterbacks just yet. But I do want to ask you about some of the mismatches that potentially Alabama could have when we look to this game. Do you think that, it's hypothetical because we don't know what Tommy Rees is going to do in terms of using the running backs. Could you see when you look to that running back room, do you think that Alabama is going to have somewhat of a running back by committee, or do you think that they're going to give Jace kind of that featured back role? It's early, that's hypothetical, but what's your kind of like assessment as we're in summertime? That's kind of a tough question, I would assume.
I honestly think that they're going to let Jace go a little while, and if Jace is not successful and we stay behind the chains, I think you'll see other guys. I think Roydell is going to get his carries as well, especially on third and short. I think that the down and distance is going to determine it. If we keep getting in third and long and we're not moving the ball, I think you will see some exchanging in the running back in the backfield. Texas is a blitzing team. They blitz a lot, so we have to have Jalen or Ty or whatever or the young man who transferred in from Notre Dame. Whatever quarterback we have, they have to be sound. Steve knows this. He's very aware. If I know it, you can best believe he knows it. Whatever quarterback we're going to have, they're going to blitz him. They're going to blitz him. They're going to test his fortitude. So I really do think we're going to lean heavily on the running game. I think Jace will get the bulk of that. If he's successful, if he has a hot hand, I think they'll go with Jace most of the game. I think Roydell, like I said, will come in on short down and distances. But I think you'll get the freshmen maybe sprinkling in there if the running game stalls. I do think you'll see the freshmen. Remember, guys, one last thing. This team is a team that has not won a conference title since the Colt McCoy days. It's been 5 other Big 12 teams that have won Big 12 titles since Texas has won. So they're going to be hungry. They're looking at Bama as a measuring stick. They want to measure themselves. Yeah. They're coming into this conference. We have to close the door on those guys. Close it from jump.
It seems to me that, for every single team that comes into Bryant-Denny, or every time you get an opportunity to play Alabama, it's almost like their Super Bowl, right? It's the biggest game because Alabama is still, the most iconic college football program out there. I know Georgia kind of making their ways as well, with the last 2 national titles. But still, when you play Alabama, Alabama's going to get the best from everybody. And I think Texas, they're going to live and die off this game, off the results of this game, right? Just like last year, if they would have beat Alabama in Austin, they would have carried that over to this coming season. And in some ways they have, and I think they feel that they are confident and they have enough arsenal to come into Bryant-Denny and probably beat Alabama this season. Texas wants this game more than probably any other game on their schedule. And I was looking at Texas's schedule earlier today. If some way they beat Alabama, this team certainly could go undefeated through the regular season. I think that's a lot of the ways that a lot of the Big 12 coaches are looking at Texas. And why shouldn't they? I mean, Texas has every single resource. They have the deepest pockets in college football. They can do whatever they want. So there's really no excuse for Texas to be continuing to not be in the playoffs, to not be bringing in the championship. Like, this is the time to shine for Texas. It's not going to happen this year for Texas. It's never going to happen for the Texas Longhorns.
Man, I tell you what, Steve Sarkeesian is doing a great job playing the politics. If you ask him, oh, no, we're not worried about the SEC right now. No, he's not. Those guys they know this is their last hurrah in that conference. He wants to send a message to the rest of the SEC with this Alabama game. That's why I'm so glad they made it at night. We need our fans to turn it up, man. We need our fans to turn it up like never before. Texas is a very talented team. They have an extremely talented head coach who knows us like the back of his hand. These guys are going to be hungry. He's playing the politics with the Big 12. We're worried about the Big 12. These guys are absolutely SEC bound and absolutely worried about the SEC. We need to turn it up in all facets for this game. So absolutely, he's playing the politics right now, but you better believe this game means as much to Texas as it does to us. That's a fact.
I'm looking at Texas' schedule, and I'll ask Jarek as well when he calls in here in just a minute. What's going on, everyone? Kyle Henderson along with Sean from Huntsville coming in from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, all the way to Huntsville. Like and subscribe. We appreciate you guys being with us in the summer season. July 13th, we're talking about Texas and Alabama and the challenges that Texas is going to bring to Tuscaloosa when the two teams do play on September 9th. You can see it right on the top of your screen. Before that, Texas is playing Rice, and then they'll play Alabama. Then they got Wyoming, then they have Baylor, they got Kansas, Oklahoma, the big one that is played at the Cotton Bowl, and then you will continue to scroll down. You got Houston on the road, you got BYU, you got Kansas State. We've seen the kind of the emergence that Kansas State has done. You got TCU, the trap game against Iowa State. Iowa State always gets somebody late in the season, always, 100%. Like if somehow Texas is undefeated by November 18th, Iowa State is. I'm laying it down on Iowa State, and then they got Texas Tech, which is also another trap game. Right, considering Texas Tech, what they can do. So there's kind of a look at Texas' schedule, and as you know, Texas is recently favored to win the Big 12. Sean, final thought on Texas football overall and kind of the momentum that they have in terms of recruiting, the coach. I mean, this everything on paper points to this is finally the year of the Texas Longhorns.
Tell you what, man, they're recruiting well. My final thought on these guys is they're doing well in NIL as I expected them to do. It's Texas. You know, we all know how their pockets is out there. We understand. This team went 8-4 last year, 8-5 total. They got two freshmen on the offensive line that we couldn't exploit last year. We couldn't exploit Hunter, the Connor kid or the Banks kid. We couldn't exploit either one of them. So my final thought is we need to rethink our game plan. I pray we don't go out there doing the same thing we did last year, dropping 8, rushing 3. You know, that just does not work. I understand. We're afraid. We give up the deep pass. We need to attack these guys. My final thought is we can't sit back and allow Quinn to get comfortable. We got to attack this guy. Put him on his butt. Attack him. We have to attack him. Live and die with it. You know what I mean? Live and die with it, baby. My final thought, like I said, just play Bama ball. Not scared ball, not the ball we played last year, playing and to not get beat. We have to play Alabama sound football. The penalties, that's got to stop. The special teams errors, that's got to stop. We have to be sound in all phases of the game. And we do that, and the fans come out and beat Bama fans from like 2016, those Bama fans, man, there's no doubt in my mind we will leave with a W, a big W.
I appreciate it, Sean. Thank you so much for leading off the show. We're going to get with Jarek in just a minute.